Well, hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I, as you know, have been a little bit irregular with some of my videos due to circumstances you're probably all aware of, but I was compelled to make this video because I wanted to share it with all you beautiful women of wisdom out there. And I'm going to leave some links in the description box below where you can follow up and discover that there is just this wonderful, gracious, delightful lady who is in her 80s, and she is doing absolutely wonderful videos just for us women. And it's all about beauty and dressing and wisdom and things like that. And I've only recently discovered her channel, and so please go and take a look, and I think you'll want to subscribe to it because there's just so many things that she shares that resonate with us as we are getting older. That is, women, but of course men get older too and have their own concerns and questions, but it is just so important for us to hear other women share their thoughts and their ideas and their little beauty secrets and all those things that are so important to us. Because when we do start to age, we begin to lose a bit of confidence sometimes. Oh, will I, won't I? And that question comes up about anything. Clothes you might want to wear or buy and things. Am I too old for that? And do I really need to bother about that? Now, recently when I had my birthday, I sat down and I wrote myself a few little notes that I felt I needed to just look at and remind myself about. And that is basically what I am going to read from today during this video and share some thoughts. But also I will leave links, as I said, to Patty's channel. Her name's Patty, Rockstar Mum. And she's just a joy to listen to. She'll brighten your day. So as I mulled over in my mind about this birthday, and I was getting ready to go out, and I found myself looking at things in my wardrobe and thinking about where I was going and thinking, oh, I don't really want to wear those shoes. I might fall. I've had a couple of falls recently, and as you all know, I've had a aortic valve replacement. Pardon me. So there's some things I don't care to expose myself to now because I feel that would be a bit foolish. Now, there's a difference in being foolish and just being yourself as well. So I have to have lines of demarcation there. But what I wanted to share with you was these notes I wrote myself, and I put them down, marked them with pink, girly pink. And so I'm really just going to read straight from those notes and explain a bit. And I put here to remind myself frequently of these 10 standards. So let me just share with you, starting with number 1. And I wrote, don't neglect my own needs, spiritual, mental and emotional and physical, and also my independence. So that's sort of a bit of a mouthful, but sometimes we do, and there's a difference between being silly and hanging on to responsibilities that we don't need to, and there's a difference, again, of, you know, that is my responsibility. I need to be sure that I attend to that. So we have to have lines of demarcation. What is realistic and what is just not wanting to let go of something? And so I do, letting go of some things does not necessarily mean you're relinquishing your independence. But there are things now, I'll give you an example. I have I don't know whatever possessed me, but I bought this new mattress. Well, it weighs 1,500 tons, I'm sure. So when you go to turn it or rotate it, I really physically cannot do that. Now, I think I'm going to buy a different mattress that I can jiggle, but in the meantime, I have to call out to someone to come and rotate that mattress when I change the linen. I can usually collar someone to do it for me here. But they're the things that rob me of my independence without me realising. I didn't think when I bought that new mattress that this would be a problem down the track. So maybe it's time I made things easier for myself. And so then there's also that power we have of saying no to things. There are things that we don't have to do. An example for me is I find now when I reach up to do cobwebs, my heart starts to race after a little while. The same when I bend down really low, I get sort of a head rush. And I think, well, I'm prone to falls and things, this is being a bit irresponsible. So I have to be a little bit more careful nowadays of how I do things. And that's a responsibility I need to take care of. So there are things that I will just say to me, no, you're not going to do that, old girl. You're going to wait. It's not urgent and someone will fix it or do it for you. Now, there's something else here too that you'll all be familiar with. Toxic people. And I've written, don't put up with them, cut the ties, and set boundaries or cut them out of your life. Now, I'm sure that resonates with some of you. We've all been exposed at some point or another in our lives to toxic people. They're just, you draw nothing of value from being with them or trying to explain things. You go through hoops to try and explain things and make them understand things and to make them feel better about themselves. But at the end of the day, they're just toxic. That's how they operate. They like that. They're like negative sort of people that you can't, no matter how much you can't lift them up. You can't lift them up. So those sort of people you need to avoid where possible. I have started that already. I've started that. Number 4, beauty standards. Now, we're all girls, and regardless of our background or our heritage or faith or whatever, we all like to look our best for special occasions. Well, we all like to get up every day and look and feel our best, and that's okay. That's good. And so those things like grey hair and wrinkles, we should be proud of those. Because I've written here, grey hairs and wrinkles is a representation of a life lived and achievements. I'm so glad I wrote all this down because I would never have been able to remember it without notes. And it is, how do you learn things? It's age and experience, isn't it? And so all those little wrinkles that start coming in and we start wondering about them, they are our, how shall I say, that they speak of our life that's been lived and what we've done and where we've been. So, they're like trophies. Think of them as trophies. Number 5, I put here, don't lessen or lower our dreams or our standards because live life on my terms. So there's no need to think, oh, well, I'm old now, that doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It matters if you want to put on your lipstick and your eyeshadow and do your hair. All those things are important because they are part of me. They're a part of you. So therefore, don't, because you've gained another year or another pound or whatever, think, oh, what's the point? Well, the point is that you owe it to yourself. God gave you a body and a mind. He intends for you to use it. And that includes looking your best when you step out of the house. Grace and dignity. And yes, live it on your terms, life. When you go shopping, I love it when you go into a shop to buy something. And recently I had a very nice young lady she was. She was very charming. And I said, I want something a bit bright to, not I just want a little bit of colour. I like pink and stuff like that. And she said, oh, okay, let's go and have a look what we've got. I wanted a top. And in the midst of it, she says, oh, that's probably not age appropriate. And it wasn't. She was correct because it was too strappy. I spied the colour. I said, oh, that's a nice pink. And then she flicked it out. She said, that's not age appropriate. And she was right, like there was barely any, there were shoestrings. And I grinned to myself. I thought, oh, you're on the right track. You'll go into, I mean, she's probably 25 or so. You will edge into aging with wisdom and grace, So I just thought I'd tell you all about that. Raise my expectations. What do I need? Well, what do I need? Only you as an individual know that. Do you need assistance with things, or do you need some road transport? Do you need a different car? Do you need a different diet? I think there's all things we adjust to as we age, even in healthy active aging. There are things we all should do just to be careful. Don't remove things that may be a slip or a trip hazard. Don't skate on thin ice, so to speak. That's just not sensible. So when you raise your expectations, then what do I need to do about that? Well, it is about, I want to live healthy. I want to enjoy my aging. I want to appreciate my wrinkles and my grey hairs. So I need to be a bit conscious of, keeping myself safe, not exposing myself to stupid dangers and risks that I don't need. Then past regrets, number 7. Stuck in a past rut or gully, I call it a deep ravine sort of thing. Celebrate the present moment and opportunities. That is my goals for today. Look, don't go looking back 15 years ago and say, I wish I hadn't have done it. Well, you did do it. Embrace it. Take accountability or push it aside. It's over with. You don't have to relive and rehash things in the past that probably were beyond your control for whatever reason. Not everything in the past is your fault. So it can sometimes be associated with people we're around or situations we're in. So don't beat yourself up about that. But rather say, well, I'm in the present now. I've got opportunities, and what goals am I having for today? Don't set goals 10 years in advance because you'll forget what they are. What's my goal today? What's my goal in this next week? And work towards that. And sometimes to reach those goals or to enjoy them, you might need a little bit of help. And don't be embarrassed about asking for it, because we live in a world where most people that, people who have a reasonable amount of common sense recognise that you might need some help. They're happy to help you. If somebody opens a door for me, if I'm going in this, a shop or something, I'm grateful. That's one less physical thing I have to do. Great. I thank them. I'm gracious about it. Now, and when we talk about our daily goals, they are just can be daily, weekly, or whatever. Don't set yourself these highfalutin goals that, nothing short of magic is going to achieve them. Now, number 8 I've got here. I have the right to say no when my energy is low. No to extra responsibility and tasks that are not actually my responsibility any longer. And I'm sure that number 8 is something we can, of all ages, can resonate on. it's so easy for the women to say, oh, I'll do that, I'll do that. Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of that. Take the time to show someone else how to do it, because one day you will not be able to do it for them, or you won't be there to do it for them. So there are things that they need to know. You know, simple things like, how many men know how to defrost and clean a fridge properly without the food spoiling? There's little things that women do in a house that nobody ever considers it's ever done or when it should be done. So there are things like that, simple things you can do. And also, while I'm on this note, we shouldn't, I think I've written this here as number 9, don't avoid conversations or directives about end of life, advanced care plans, etc. Burial, leaving my jewellery pieces to some individual, certain individuals. I didn't extend on that, but don't avoid those conversations. We've recently had that, our family, conversations about end of life care, and that's about the father of my sons and also about me. And that all came about through me having this urgent and sudden valve replacement. It forced us all to think about, whoa, there's no warning always. And so our family's been very proactive in terms of, you know, it's okay to talk about last end of life stages. It's okay to talk about what interventions you want or you would refuse, or how you want to be buried, etc. So, you know, scratch it out on a piece of paper so there's no need for people to wonder about it. Have a will that is current and up to date if that's an important thing for you, or at least have someone who knows your wishes and will act on your behalf. Be sensible about that conversation. You wouldn't put a piece of food in your mouth that you doubted whether it was good or spoiled, would you? Well, the same thing applies with end-of-life decisions. Don't leave someone to make a decision that you wouldn't have approved of or wanted. Be proactive. The end-of-life care is a big thing, and I think every family should talk about it at some stage. Don't wait till the end of life to actually discuss it. Number 10, this is the final one I wrote. Don't compromise my happiness to avoid a conflict or compromise. Stand up for myself, and healthy conflict is okay. Now, I can't stress that enough. You can have healthy conflicting discussions without raising your voice. It's okay to have different opinions about certain things, but there's no need to start, you know, having verbal backwards and forwards and physical and all that. That is just ridiculous. I went on and said, one cannot keep everyone happy by compromising my own happiness. Now, that's something you should put on your fridge, you know, a little sign, because there's a difference between what makes you happy. There are some things that you think, oh, I'll let that go. I can do that next week, you know, and I'll do that. That'll make me happy another time, you know. But there are certainly things in your life that are part of your day-to-day living and your mental health well-being. And so don't compromise all of those things. Some people feel they've got to give way to everyone's opinion and wants and needs and moans and groans. No, you don't. There is a point where you have to say to somebody, and it may even be a member of your family, listen, stand on your own 2 feet. I'm not able to hardly hold myself up today. I'm not about to try to hold you up. It's okay to tell people that they got to pull their socks up and think for themselves. Make a decision. Don't have to come, you know, worry about it. Make a sensible decision. And I talk to a lot of, especially women, who are still. Now, you could say, did they start their marriage by making all the decisions and therefore the husbands decide it's best not to do it? I'll ask her opinion first. Maybe they made that rod for their own back, or maybe they didn't, and now there's got to be an even balance. Some people have to step up and make some decisions, and if they know you well enough, they should know what the correct decision would be about certain things. If you've been together for long enough, you go, you know what? Oh, I don't necessarily have to go out and buy the new fridge. I want a freezer part. I want a fridge part. I want basic foundations of a fridge. Nothing too fancy. No bigger than this. I mean, sure, it's not. You might want to go and look at the fridge you want to buy, but if you're busy and you've got other things on your mind, you might be happy to say to the spouse or even your daughter or your son, say, listen, I need a new fridge. I can't be bothered organising. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm prepared to pay. Will you go out and find me something? It's one less thing I have to worry about. So that sort of wraps up my 10 things that I came to terms with, and I'm going to keep reminding myself of this each week at least, because we don't have to do everything anymore. People, even when people are old and frail, they still like to make decisions, They still like to be asked, what do you want for dinner? Or, would you like to go for a drive today? Let's go for a drive to the lake. Or shall we go and watch a sports match or something like that? We all have choices and we need to respect them. But there's no need for me at my age to lower my standards. And there's no need for you to do that either, because once you do, next thing you turn around and you're just standing there on a little island and everyone's going around doing their own thing, and you've spent all your life bowing and scraping to the minor needs and wants of everyone around you and to the neglect of yourself. Now, don't do that. God didn't create you to be a doormat. He created you to be a strong woman, a woman of valor, a woman of concrete conscience and actions. He gave you a brain. You're the head of your house, really, when you think about it. If you pluck yourself out of your home, what's going to happen? Try it one day. Go away for a week. They'll be glad to see you back. Thank you so much for all you lovely people who subscribe and who leave comments, etc. I am going to try and get more regular with my videos now, and I am concentrating, as you know, more about addressing things that are related to women, but anyone can watch them. That's fine. And if you've got any requests for topics or anything, please let me know in the comments below. But also in the meantime, please do have a look at Patty's videos, Rockstar Mum. The link will be in the description box below. She is an absolute delight that is going to brighten your day. In the meantime, please take care and God bless.